Sunday morning, 10 o'clock-ish, middle of nowhere, southeast Morocco. Time for a talk.
And so, yes, you'll never pass your exam if you don't behave. Yes. As my lecturer used to say, it's a one-way ticket from London Road Station for you. Anyway, we're in a very, very lovely part of the southern edge of the Tafel Alps. We're right on the boundary. You saw that we came down the asphalt road and we came to a little town that is called Taouz. That used to be the end of the world. That's where the asphalt finished, and then beyond that was the wild Sahara. And you used to be able to go down through the valley that goes south into Algeria, but no more. The asphalt now does continue. It goes over to the west to Uzina and soon to Remlia. They're just doing that bit now, which has opened up that no end. The escarpment at the back of Taouz is the actual Kem Plateau, or the Hamada de Kem. Yeah? So where the Kem group gets its name from. The strata that we're on here now are a part of the Paleozoic sequence. So the Kem Plateau is Cretaceous and overlies this folded Paleozoics, just like we've seen elsewhere. The strike's a little bit different here. The strike is north-south, so it's a little bit of an aberrant fold compared to the other major east-west trending faults. So, if you look at the rather rougher high ground behind you, that's Ordovician sandstones, and it's very heavily mineralised. You may have noticed that it's a big, long mountain. You can see it going off up into the distance up there, and it's quite diverse mineralisation. There's a lot of barite, there's iron, and there was vanadinite and galena, and a whole host of other minerals besides, gangue minerals, calcites, and all sorts of things. So it was, I think you said your father worked in the mines over here, and it still worked. You can see big grooves behind you. You can see where minerals have been extracted there. There's a new mine that's been set up over there. Sometimes it's bigger companies, sometimes it's one man and a dog. And as you drive along this road, you can eventually get to Rossani, and you'll see mines all the way along. So that's Ordovician. Notice the dip of the strata. They're dipping over in an easterly direction, and you can see behind the ridge that we're standing on another ridge with that rather nice serrated edge that we've seen elsewhere. And those rocks over there are Devonian. So if that's Ordovician and that's Devonian, we ought to have a little bit of Silurian in between. And we have here, and we've got a limestone. And if you look carefully at this limestone, it's actually rather special. It's a crinoidal limestone. And it has crinoids all the way along. It is just made up of crinoids.
So these are Ordovician hills. There is a basalt which might be a lava, it might be a sill, and along this whole length these Ordovician sandstones are mineralised and are mined. So the presumption is that the mineralisation is from the igneous origin, or igneous source.
So much in it.
5 minutes. Right. At the bottom end of the crinoid, we might get a chance to look at the top end of the crinoid, and it's just a little bit further up the road. I'll get a bit higher so you can all hear me. Sermon on the Mount and all that. We're on the same layer. There's amazing constancy in this stratigraphy, not just in the sequence but laterally on the sea floor. The crinoids back there. How far have we driven? 2 kilometres, 2.5 kilometres. And here we are in the same layer, the same horizon. There's the Ordovician sandstones, your basalts over there. There's that nice mountain that makes the sawtooth. And here we have the crinoid layer again. Serious operation here. There's been a bulldozer in here. And you can see much bigger slabs and fresh, not had the wind blown dust all over it polishing it. And here's a really rather lovely calyx, or part of a calyx. The fronds of these things can be really large, and you can see them all beautifully, all the pinnules on the fronds on this piece here, and a crinoid stem calyx in there. So I just thought it would be a good idea to see, because there are lobeliths here, but you don't, in those localities now, see these beautiful fronds. But here, because they've been digging more recently, it's not had the wind dust polishing it and obliterating the surfaces, and they've had it because they've used some bigger machinery. They've got bigger slabs out, and you need bigger slabs to be able to see these larger fronds. So I thought it'd be cool just to pop up the road here to have a look at this. So here we go. If anybody wants to have a frond or see a frond, pass it round so that everyone sees it. But walk around and you'll be able to find your own on the slopes on either side. If you look in that direction, you can see a little ridge continuous with this one, and you can see little spoil dumps all the way along. And if you then look to the left where the tree is at the end, you can see another little ridge with spoil dumps all the way on. So this little mining operation goes on for at least 1 kilometre here, and of course it was looked at it. So there is something like 3 kilometres of crinoids. Now that at one stage was a crinoid meadow. We shouldn't use these floristic terms for crinoids. I have to remind you, they're animals, even if they are called sea lilies. They are animals, yeah? A larva or a silk. As we were coming up, we actually got on the other side of the basalt for a bit, so I think we were looking at the basalt. If you want to just pop over there, you can go and get a chunk of the basalt.
You're saying that excavated bit, is that basalt or
Over there?
That's where they're taking
One there, but sorry, I can't see where you're pointing.
Oh, yeah, they're beauties. What fun this is.
You've really got to pay attention, and you can easily bang your head and all that sort of stuff. So you have to think twice about whether you want to go into the mine. Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And we aren't wearing hard hats.
No.
Okay. Now the other thing is that the little stream at the bottom, and there are some places where it is easy to access, you can find your own mineral specimens quite easily. Yeah. But there is a bit of a steep down, right? So don't do it if you're not sure-footed. Only if you're sure-footed, do it. And maybe if you can't go down, somebody can find a mineral specimen for you, or you can have a look at these. And the gentlemen that were here when we arrived, one of them's over there now, and the other guy is just opening up shop there. They are old miners, and now they're a different type of miner. They are now mining the mine and the spoil dump around here. You can see all of this spoil from lots and lots of mines. And when different minerals become important and some become less important, the nature of the mine changes. We've had the same in Derbyshire. At Dirtlow Rake, for example, in the Carboniferous, it was mined by the Romans. Does this go back to Roman times? No. So it was the Romans were up to the north. Yeah. They didn't dare come down here and fight with the tribe. So the Dirtlow Rake was first of all mined for galena, for the lead. In the days when we had this thriving Sheffield steel industry, they mined it for the fluorite, for flux. We then discovered oil in the North Sea and squandered it. Political. And so we needed drilling mud, and so we mined it for barite. But on every occasion, we went through the spoil dumps of the previous generation because they'd thrown away the fluorite, they'd thrown away the barite. Yeah. And we also get pure calcite. And it's the same here. Was your father mining vanadinite? Vanadinite. I mean, for vanadium steel, that's a very valuable mineral to be mined.
So we are
Can you see the
correctly
slabs that are just
banned
on the top?
from entering the mine.
A lot of stuff will come tumbling down. Exactly. The guys go down there.
In the spoil heaps and in the wadi are some fantastic hematite, possibly some galena and possibly some manganese. Great place for crystals. So nice contrast from crinoids, orthocones, to get some slightly exotic minerals, mostly hematite, some nice quartz crystals. Let's have a look at the miners' collections themselves.
When I asked the question, it told me
Okay, got some malachite, chalcopyrite perhaps, nice lumps of quartz, and then some crinoids.
Or soap dish.
Carved soap dish.
Okay, well, the Devonian here has got vertebrates in it, in some places. Some of them are placoderms with these great big giant fishes like Deinixis, and the others are these acanthodians, which have got a lot of spines down the side. And there are a few big manatees leave them behind.
I know exactly.